ala baraka bake jiberal minul ben jibe kan sa intenden Kerr Fatou felenteng latir kunda annex adamin to yalla noko futata nang ning a principal wona ta kacha sto kula mi anako be dending buru manko la Gambia banko kanyan katu nin jiberal na hakilo baka birin kununko buru keta kutele mi anako be mankeri mbake Gambia banko kanyan wayatin nan nata nan ni latir kunda annex la principal ani la tita dantang ani wafiral pour ni sa kacha sto ya tandi molla buru la manke ay la karamundo taliben dingon ay affect nyaadi la anu fanan itol dung yamira musim fada man sakuna nyanta ka woleta akaje ko mburo dun nako a problème ni sa solve no Gambia banko kanjam nim bota jandung alatir kuna marse man jam fajang bitala jela fanam ning wafiral dun fanan se kacha so de fanan sa tandi molla itol fanan mburu manko dun ay affect nyaadi le baluwo kono anila dimbayal minu yanoko walla katara suwo kono anim fanan bakeries association ila president ni wo fanam be kacha soto la wo fanam batandi la molal anim furti dantang san ko nyin keta nyaawo nya don Kerr Fatou batandi la la katu nano ko mburo mu kulete mi yalno ko hadama dingol ka sula la surtout karamonto dingol mi yalno ko walla kata karam moto katu kono na man fa karango buka keno woto nyim buru mankol akamunta ko abe Gambia bele abatandi kan nyin temel wotali Kerr Fatou no madro nsa tanda la mburu manko abe moldo affect kan nyaadele a Gambia banko kanja.
Actually, this is beyond the school problem. I would see it as a national problem because these children, they all come from a home. Myself, I'm not only head, I'm a head parent. But children, somebody we get up, you cannot have bread because they are used to bread. All of a sudden, there is no bread. It's a very serious matter, and then really, I want to urge every Gambian, especially also in the, in authority, to do something about it because bread is our staple food. So without bread, children find it so difficult. As you see, children are just going to buy anything that they come by their way. Some will go into mono porridge, some will go into malabutanga, others will have nothing to eat. They'll just, look at people like that. You have your money, you cannot have bread. It's a very serious matter, and then it's something that people have to work on it as quickly as possible because bread is a staple food. We cannot go without food, definitely speaking.
So hope it is not reducing the performance or the students' performance during a lesson because without food you cannot learn properly. So how it is affecting them during lesson times in the school?
Actually, madam, it is even disturbing them because some of them are not even coming to school because they cannot come to school with empty stomach. You come to school also, you have nothing to buy. It really discourages the performance. Some are not even coming, they just stay and then wait for their luck. Anything what the parents have, they give them. But you come to school, you have been eating every day before you come to school, you don't have food. Really, it's affecting them. Even the performance were in school because a hungry child cannot pay attention. He or she will be sleeping in the class. We have been having those type of issues, definitely. It's a concern that we have to put our hands on deck and then see how we can solve this thing as quickly as possible.
So as a headmaster, what step do you think the government should take to take a solution so that everything will go back to normal?
Well, I think I will definitely have to buy one journalist's idea, one Mr. I think, which radio station he works. But I think it's Star FM, this man, Pandari made one suggestion the other time. It's workable and it's fantastic. He gave example like council KMC here. We have 19 wards. Council can go in for this thing. That will create employment and it will create, it solve the problem. But we have 19 wards. Every ward, if we can have one bakery there, run by the councillor with his team, that will solve the problem. But we cannot, fold our hands and leave everything in the hands of our foreigners. That doesn't tell well. How can you have your store in somebody's house? If that person closes his door, where are you going? This is what is the student here. We leave everything in these hands. I'm calling authorities to buy this man's idea and work on these things as quickly as possible. And countrywide, every local council, they have a bakery. They can do it. They can do it, my friend. It's not expensive and it's not beyond reach. They can do it. I'm urging them to step in as quickly as possible. Otherwise, anything happens, we have to blame them.
I know many people will think that the bread shortage have only affected the homes, but I knew that every child that you are seeing in the school here is from a home. So definitely, and most of the time that when we have the break periods in the school system here, the only thing that they will buy, most of them will try to rush in for bread. And it is obvious that nowadays you can see when you walk to our market here at the school, you will realize that nowadays it is the ebes, the eyes, and the chakris that are working there. So obviously the bread shortage in the country does not only affect the people in the street, but it also affected the school definitely as well, because even the teachers themselves, imagine sometimes before a teacher will go into a class, he will try to buy full bread, have yourself a very nice breakfast before going into a class. And now that is all not happening. In fact, these days I'm seeing teachers buying, groundnut while they are coming along their way to chew that one before they go to class. So, but basically, as your question said, the children are our pride. The children are the nation's pride. These are the people who we think that even if we are hungry and they are hungry, we need to sacrifice and give them to go. But obviously right now it is very painful, it is very disastrous to sit in a school seeing the children having choiceless of what they want to buy, most especially their choice is bread. So obviously it is affecting the school system.
Kanya ntobe wulde jambi kata furoto. Biza ko suba man salim be sirim furo kono. Nga suba sali woloto. Fo fano kata je. Mbi bolan je 8 ma fon botnam furo, tren sele botnam furo. Kana jamba indi na jam be futala tren tang dasta do man ding futata jang mamed nol finta bre wala keba mal finta mamed dindi mal nat mburo ni dara sa en ni koy mburo ko kilin dara stan sa ite be firote mburo san kilin dara stan ite am ngeen tawa fala ñaari ko ko leata mol bula jakkalu fana warta mol bulo kono ngindembe mol danda masa kunda ma ko la nya fay dimbal kan nya fay mol kan parce que ni mburo ko fon ko ya be ya tata nata nsapo ko ni be soko ne sikeni kando dino do si mono tabi yadi dungol bandi dino me info ma kanda school fo abay nangena ma ni mono ma wala baba nangena ni kini kando ngamra dino ina ta school ya fara ngata Minnesota la pour ay mburo so men domade nanta kala so kona se kayro so tono parce que ni mo man domoro ke nanta kala so ma ne kelo kala so kon ata hani fenkeno raje hani ke ba yamere ni man domoro ke be kala so ko din numéro bodo ko len ken so am kalo no masakunda yanta kam fayla mul ma bakala nya fayna mul kan dimbayali kan dimati di batata say domoro ko yata mulu kan bete ke sudotil somanda wular mbe borim alhamdulillah rabbil alamin ayuma koy
sa nyimburo mi anako ali ado mondingo bonnina furo kono a price o ali soto a normal price la fo ya la falel
ntol tata nyimento teng o alna tawulu kayandi mo rendi de o yawa fi mol ma $75 but nefta kilin da $10 ka fi mol ma wal mburu kilo $10 ka fi mol ma wala sai tabala batir fay maje bi man tabala ba soto noja tabala be kadi mo la $12 tang anin sey tan nin kononto bi ko $12 ni badi le mol bi tadi le dasi mo anin saba bi ko mo anin saba ko en to fan tata do wala duno be serli ñewbe serli ita pala ba ta $12 dasi mo anin saba ite ngata wafle ñaari sai dino fele jani ko haburu $15 tan nin lulu ika complain dol ka ta dol nimina school loñ $10 damay no kana dol $15 killing ite haburu sanu na tan nin lulu ibe mu ne so tole be men domala ati da suñaro warta dindilla
affaire mburu bi nguur gi ñoo ci ñu mëna dimbalé factory yi yore affaire farine bi nañ bàyyi ku nekk ku mën a indi ñu liggéey waaye buñ ko bàyyee si loxol kenn daf ñey lor kooku lu ko neex lay def du seet lu neex mbooloo mi de lu ko neex lay def te loolu daf ñey lor li ma si xam daal nguur gi nañu dimbale ku mën a order farine fay droit yi la laaj nga order indi teg ku bëgg a jënd soo jëndee nga dem waxtaan ak nguur gi ñu jox leen poids bu ñu war a jaay mburu bi loolu mooy di am mburu dañ ko dee jox poids bi nangam la lii ngeen koy jaayee su leen neexee ñu def ñaari price su leen neexee ñu ne benn price mooy am waaye na am poids bi nañ ko régler ñu yore affaire factory bi nañ bàyyi ku nekk ku mën a indi ñu ñëpp ñu bokk si am man loolu laa si xam nguur gi rek ñoo ñu si mën a taxaw la.
da ngay gis ne mburu bi manqué ni avec nañu bu baax de sonal nañu de waaye terewul ñoom si seen booba la gën a sonal terewul ñu ngi dunda de understand nga waaye ñoom li ñu war a def mooy ne nekku ne dañoo jël strate bañ a liggéey mburu mi te nit ñi am nañ ci soxla loolu du yoon du dëgg du yoon li ñoo ñaan nguur gi mooy ne nañ jël matuwaay yu mat sëkk teg ko ci ñi nga xam ne ñoom ñoo war a liggéey mburu yi ñi xam ne luñ la ñoo wax ne mburu yi waru dem manqué every time ndaxte Gambien si dañ soxla mburu yi understand nga waxuñ ne ñun dañ ko soxla rek moo tax ñu jël loolu di ko manqué de ñoom lu ñu wax ne loolu moo am soo seetee man maa ngi dëkk Siaraar dëgg la ñun suñ mburu yi gars yi ñu ngi koy jaayee $10 waaye boo seetee suñ mburu yi li ñoo jaayee $10 bokkut ak seen mburu yi suñ mburu yi ñoo ëpp seen mburu yi téeméeri junne du benn du ñaar te suñ mburu yi ñoo gën a baax seen mburu yow mburu yi soo koy buggee jaayee $10 yow man su ma nee mën naa see lekk ñaari mburu du ma suur ndax loolu lu ñoo jëriñ la nañ leen ragal yaara ñun yëpp ay Gambien lañ na leen bokk ñu liggéey dañ ne ñu fa nekk di straj ne bañ a liggéey mburu nekkuñu Gambiens buñ nekkoon Gambien xëy na duñ defalee noonu waaye ñun ñi nga xam ne ñooy ay Gambien ndaxte nañu baala de ndax Gambien si tamit dafa am ñoo xam ne dañ jaafus dañ jékki trop bàyyandeku.
nde dimba men ɓe ndebulu ay momu way siile wol buka fendomo somanda kabirin kala mun do dinnol ban katan dimmu solu men kata karamun men bukata be ka balu namuso e be ka balu mburol la woto nim mburo mangita banko kan konkolo be banko kan konko be capital to kato capital mo talante o be abe ka balu mburol la no mburo no kabe mangila banko kan konkolo be banko kan konko dum ni o banko dingol muta wol buka sila ko tek o kamé wulu o buka kayrat alama len tan ko wala jam.
It is very sad that the country is suffering from this shortage of bread. Because if you look at our schools, children at the moment, children are suffering. Bread is not available. We are not asking who is responsible, who is behind it, but a serious step must be taken to address this issue. So we are all suffering. We and our family members, our children, we are all suffering at the moment. From the school level to the market level to our domestic, homes, all bread is badly needed. So something must be done about it.
Hono inetera
Abdullah Jallo.
Abdullah anko on to jurata mbur.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. Min ko mi jurata mbur ko bundu.
Ko hon problème aji hondum woni hebdo o wondone hebde furuji mon ko toto juraton to mbur.
Ok, menen ko mi woni hebde problème nini ka mburu nini e time ko min fuɗɗorayno golle mburu komi natata Gambie ɗo mburu hari ko mbuuɗi jeeɗiɗi waɗano fewndo ɗum e saku farin on hari ko onno ko $950 $950 mi waɗi agreement me yewtide maɓɓe ha ɓe waɗani men ɓe inne joni ɓe dakori $7 nde $7 on fottana ɓe wi men fewndo ɗon farin ɓeydetake taw nde no ɓeydoye kadi fof joɗoto min wowla fi farin e woni noon nde ɓe ɓeydoye ɗum ɗon ɓe ɓeydira temedere capanɗe joyi nogay ko noon ha aroy kadi yeeyamen $1,350 aroy ɓe wi men 1,300 on no $40 fof ɓe yaha ɓe yildito e neɓa kadi seeɗa ɓe yawta yeeso bon so nini meɗen mari probléme molanaɗo ko waɗi nini wono boulanger amen on hedde mum ga boulanger ala fes fof acciti a wala e darade jemma peetu saku ɗiɗi farin ha weeta ko ɓe yoɓay ma ko 150 fof acciti woɓɓe yaha ñalla wadde puusu joni nini farin ko boron fuuru e si heeɓi goto mo wallidira dara ko ƴetta ɗon jonna mo hari kadi komin yoɓata luwasi fuuru ko telen 800 700 hari ko ɗum fuuru yoɓete hande noon fuuru no yoɓede 2,400 2,300 hari ration komin jonnata ɓe ko duusen goto ma duusen ɗiɗi si ɗuuɗi joni a yiyay landiɗo duusen tati duusen nayyi o everything toujours no augmente rek bon ɗum ɗon dogiri noon ha si ɓe ara ka fuuru ɓe innamen koyo laɓɓine koyo waɗe kaaro bon boron fuuru min komi gollowo simi golli mi labini ɗo joom fuuru inni mi tiray men inni men tiray ɗo o yeeto men tiratama o acca ha o gayna oynama o ɓeydinama luwasi ma wawata yewde fiya yaltu goɗɗo ƴetta hara o tirale makko ɗum fof miɗen mari probléme e ɗiɗi farin on ni menen on vice président amen on ɗo maître Hamidou heɓe kamɓe jonnatanmi farin ɓe yawno ko factory ɓe wersi mbuuɗi ɓe inni men addu kalton ɓe natta ɓe addoya farin kaɓe yawno ɓe wersi fi ɗin ɗon ɓe addanali men farin ha joni taw ɓe inni men kala heɓuɗo ka sodira golla yo gollu e minen men famata hay wona onon ɗo joni on ara e waɗugol men test lando men piijigo a yahay ka jooma farin jiɗi ɓennama farin ala joni haray tigui miɗo mari ɗo hunde kaari ko jelu minna ko jelu ɓenna waɗay 1,700 ma 1,650 noɓe yiruma ɗo dare sa wiɓe factory ɓennan menen men ala ɗum andi joni an ala ko golla ɓe guuro ma heɓali ko ñama koma wakkilloɗa toon sooda wiyaya tantu chance dara ko honno woni reyde joni no yeeyi ɓe men tawmi tampi ɗoy ɗo men halda men ɓeydi prix no haldaka ɗum c'est à dire que nde men nodda mo ɓe wiya ha farin heɓaki joni dare ka gollirɗa o ko heɓa bon on say mi yeehi mo joni sa golli a tawi ko ɗum ɗa wawama yaltande jon galle no darode feere no ɓeydat ɗuma e ko wiyete lancing kon no ɓeydirede feere piiji ɗin fof no satti ha ɗumanni ta an kadi a luttata wonde ka wonɗa ɗon tun iɗa ɓeydude ɓe guure ɓeɗo ñama yaray ay kono ni menen sasi wono laamu Gambia si ɓe daditaki ɓe walliti men hara piiji goo wona e ɗuma seeɗa mburu aro yey hara ko yen marɓe doole fi machine tum hara ko ɓen noon tuwata golle.
At the moment I am the president, and in fact I have been the president for a long time, because this is the second review of the Bakers Association. I was the president since, I was president since 2005.
So ngajile ko nyin desol mburo manketa itelem president ngoni tebe marare nyi molla mi alon kolle kam mburo jan fo isa fono mole exactly munem problème di miati na mburo man soto Gambia ja
ñimmu kuleti kumolo me yalon ko ye jato muta ya city ni jato muta ya city ya fo mole ala provoke ni ya provoke den ni mol pareta ya bura ya release ani menu ka provoke. That's dangerous. But one thing I can tell you, Menketa, we have had several meetings with authorities concerning this bread issue. From the president to the ministers to the factory owners to their agents, we have had meeting with all of them, and consumer commission. We have had meeting with all of them. And actually, that was even since before the election. Things became worse after the election. And the promises were that maybe when election is ready, when election is done, things may be improved. But at the moment, things are worse. The reason is, in our last meeting, about 2 weeks back, the minister called us for a meeting. Minister of Trade, Mr. Kerr, Honorable Kerr. He said all the stakeholders, factory owners, our association, and the same for Bakers Association too. So he said he has had 2 applications from the factory owners that they want to increase the price of flour. And the amount he stated was definitely high, because nothing less than $400 is per bag to be added. So when he said this, we said, okay. Personally, I said, well, okay. Me, I cannot talk much on that. What I know is, I know you know more than us. If the price of flour is increased, certainly the price of bread will be increased. And so you have to bear that in mind. So there was a discussion, a lot of discussion between the factory owners. Many people complain. Personally, what I complain is, if you check the factories, they have mediator between our association and the factories. Those are their agents. For GMC, Gambia Milling Corporation, Fatou is their agent. You know Fatou, not you? For Najim, that's the one at Bond Road. There is one Mr. Fall, who is said to be their agent. Now, when we want to buy flour, even if we pay, sometimes we are referred to those people. And not only that, when we pay, it will take us sometimes 2 or 3 days or 4 days or even more than that to get flour. Right now, what I am seeing is, I cannot, I'm saying it, just shooting it. These people have applied for increment. And I'm sure government is dragging. It's not giving them chance. Maybe there is discussion on that.
That is the bakers.
No, the factories. The factories want flour to be increased. And they have, not yet, I don't think, they have, because if the government approve, they will announce it. It is not yet announced. And as a result, the factories are also withholding. They are withholding. What they used to, there was a time when we had a meeting and they said, each factory said, we are producing 18,000 bags a week. But at the moment, Mr. Gajigo, I can tell you at the moment, I doubt if they are producing more than 10,000 bags for the whole week, because we are not getting flour. You see, people are thinking that we strike. No, we are not striking. The fact is we don't have flour. Wallahi, Hamidu, my deputy, my vice president, has paid in money to the factories since about 5-6 days back. He wanted flour and he deposited the money, but it cannot be available. The flour is not available. So anytime he goes, Demal Chiki, Demal Chikale, Demal Chiki, so it's just like that. So you can see, I mean, if where you cannot be able to achieve the thing, you cannot do anything about it.
So if I understand what you're saying is this simple. Now, you people are not on strike. And the problem is, because of this, factory owners want to increase the amount of flour.
The money.
The money, that is the amount that they are selling it. So, and it is not increased. That increment is not approved by the government. So, and they are also holding the flour.
They are playing, yes, they are playing some hanky-panky games. Because what they want to do is, they have no right to increase. If they increase, they will be liable. But what about if they cannot produce? If they say they don't produce, normally you can take the horse to the river, but you cannot open the mouth to make it drink. So that's the problem. If they apply for increment and there is no approval, if you check, the production was $18,000 per bag, $18,000 bags per week, and that was for each factory. Now we are not getting flour, so that means there is a deduction of the production. The production has definitely been reduced.
So you were called for a meeting at the ministry. So how much are they selling flour for now, and how much do they want to increase?
For today, the flour, we are not getting it direct from the factory, so we are getting it from the traders. And those traders also, they got it from the agents. So you can see it's up to the third, fourth hand. We are getting it, we being the fourth or fifth hand, we are getting it from the traders at 1,650, 1,675. 675, 650. And there is no approval yet, There is no approval yet. It's not my business to tell you how much was said the bag of flour would be. But I know there is not yet any approval. Yet it's 1,675, 1,650 from the traders.
So how much do these companies want to increase on top of
that? I think I leave that for the authorities to say it. Please.
You mentioned already that during the meeting, the minister said 400 on top of...
About 400. I said about 400. About 400. Yes, about 400. And if I should be frank, they said something like 270 times 2. 270 times 2, that means January and February. Not immediate this thing, but increment in January and increment in February, which will take the flour to 1,950 or 1,900 or 1,850 minimum from the factory.
So if that happens, what are you people going to do as the bakers?
we will approach the authorities, the minister, Consumer Commission. We have so many authorities, You have the Consumer Commission, which have a big hand in this, because they have a constitution. There is a constitution which says bakers should not sit down together and make an agreement to increase. If we sit down and make an agreement to increase, that means there is a breach of law. So we are not doing that. So what we want to do is, if the bread is increased, if they increase, the flour is increased, we will appeal to government. If maybe they may give us a subvention. He informed them that he has received both letters, but he has told them to wait, and that they should wait until there is an agreement between the government and all stakeholders. That was, he warned them seriously that you should not increase. Although I'm seeing increment, but I am sure this is not approved by government.
But at your side, your people are also increasing the price of bread. People are buying bread for $15, $12. There is no certain amount. Do you know the reason?
Maybe I can be able to forge the reason. The fact is, if I was getting the flour, at the time he was calling the meeting, the bag was 1,350, not more than 1,400, right? Now, if we are getting the bag at 1,675, there has been increment, and that has to fall on the cost of the bread. It has to fall on that. What are we going to do? And imagine, just I think yesterday, taxes have been increased. That may not be my business, but I know a lot of things have been increased from yesterday or from today. And, Mr. Gajigo, if the bag of flour was 1,350, now it's 1,675, almost $300 has been increased. And imagine $300. If you add it to the bag, we are also working to get something. We will not be able to work for nothing. We'll not be able to work for nothing. So what we want to do is, if we can be able to increase the weight of the bread, the size of the bread and the weight, and make it very good, and increase the price, not as an association, but individually. Like this man, he's a baker. If he in his bakery can increase his bread to bigger ones and sell them at $15, I see no crime in that.
mbaɗigol bina ñina sotalen tata karammogo talen tata marseto nin gambe ɗigol fanan kacata ya tandi mulale mburoɗu namanko a toroɓe kanyamen surtout karamuta talibe ndigom bari nakata kuwol kala kaje ko nim Ministry of Trade ni wol fanan kaca soto bari me soto nom anim fanan teñi mol min yalno ko walla dum fanan ka fariño nati na Gambia banko kajang walla mo molti mi ko accompagner be to lebulo kono fariño katare to lebulo kono ma wol fanan soto no ñin tembe ngona woto aliyaja tenne kuwol be laari wol ñama alnal badi malu Ramatulaay Jawo anin na cameraman min keta Omar Ndawte ala baraka bake